It's not long now until the NBA playoffs begin, so let's outline 6 potential playoff series that are a must-have come postseason, and who would win these thrilling matchups. First, let's begin in the Eastern Conference with the New York Knicks taking on the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum might just end up being the MVP this season, as this has been the best Celtics team in the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown era. On the other hand, the Knicks have been playing extremely good basketball themselves when healthy. Before the trade deadline, they made moves for OG Anunoby, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Alec Burks. Jalen Brunson was snubbed for the All-Star starter, averaging 27 points per game, while his partner in crime, Julius Randle, is having another All-Star season. In the matchup so far this season between the Knicks and the Celtics, each game has been hard fought, along with the rich history between these two franchises. If both sides are healthy, OG can play more than good enough defense on Jason Tatum, while the lack of size won't be a problem as Boston doesn't have a dominant big either. In seasons past, the Knicks have been the Celtics' kryptonite at times. The series would likely take place in the second round, as it would be a breath of fresh air. Finally, not seeing another Boston-Philadelphia series, as we could finally see a Giannis Embiid showdown in the other second round playoffs. In the series, I believe Jaylen Brown would have to stand up and play one of his best series of his career, while Kristaps Porzingis has to be shooting at least 35% from 3, and if this happens, the Celtics will win in 6 games. Early in the regular season, the games between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers were action-packed in more ways than one, with excellent offensive performances, huge fights, and drama. After Giannis scored 64 points, breaking the franchise record, the Pacers infamously did not give the Bucks the game ball, and in the in-season tournament, Tyrese Halliburton made a huge late 3 to ice the game, and did the Dame time celebration, prompting Lillard to clap back, stealing the All-Star Game MVP in Indiana. For all these reasons, seeing two teams with bad blood go head-to-head would make for an extremely entertaining first-round matchup. Giannis would be likely to average more than 35 points in the series, as Indiana has no defensive option to guard the size, length, and strength of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Tyrese Halliburton would stamp his name as a potential top 3 point guard in the NBA, dropping dimes and having at least one 40-point game. With the new addition of Pascal Siakam, the Pacers might have a better chance of beating the Bucks, but I personally don't see this happening as Milwaukee has been rolling since the All-Star break, as I would take the Bucks in a 5 to 6 game series. We just released our very first merch line. From tees to hoodies and phone cases, we guarantee high quality and a wide variety of colorways. Get yours today before we run out. The most fearsome rivalry in the NBA is still the Celtics and the Heat. In the last 2 Eastern Conference Finals, Boston and Miami had been on the main stage with 2 7-game series, as Boston would win in 2022 and the Heat would win in 2023. When Jimmy Butler enters playoff mode, he turns into prime Michael Jordan, making it extremely likely that the Heat could do it again. For Boston, they should have beaten the Heat last season, dropping the first 3 games in the series, including 2 games at home. At this point, the Miami Heat is just a demon that Jason Tatum and crew have to overcome. If Boston don't have to play Miami, their only true test will come against the Milwaukee Bucks. However, since the Miami Heat are moving up the standings, there's a chance that the Celtics might dodge the Heat this postseason. But if Miami could pull it off again, beating the Milwaukee Bucks, this would make for a 3rd straight Eastern Conference Finals of Miami and Boston. And this could prove to be the best series yet. With the addition of Terry Rozier, the Heat's offense got way better, while the defense hasn't been any worse. Bam Adebayo's having his best season in the league, putting up 20 points and 10 rebounds a game, as the Miami Heat have the 3rd best defense in the NBA. The Celtics have been great this season, having a top 5 defense and offense, as they truly are the best team in the NBA. But if anybody could beat them, it's this Miami Heat team. In the Western Conference, the standings are extremely tight, making for many great series. However, these 3 series will be must-see TV. First is a rematch of last season's opening round, as it's the Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. With the West constantly changing, this series is likely to take place in the second round or the conference finals. Anthony Edwards has been a good playoff performer so far in his career, putting up 31 points per game last season. However, Jokic was playing elite level basketball, beating the Wolves in 5 games. This time won't be easy for Denver, as the Timberwolves have found a groove, playing much better as a unit than the season before. In fact, it's likely to be a home series for the Timberwolves, as they are a higher seed as the Nuggets at the point of recording this video. The minutes of Rudy and Cat on the floor were a huge issue last season for the Wolves, but this season it's been their biggest strength, with Rudy being a great defender at the center position and Cat being able to space the floor at an elite level. This series could really go either way. However, I have to admit that the lack of playoff experience could be a factor for Minnesota in the postseason, as I wouldn't bet against the reigning champs, as I see Denver winning in 6 games. Nearly 5 years ago, the worst trade in NBA history was completed, as the Clippers sent Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Oklahoma in return for Paul George. Since then, Paul George has failed to win a championship with the Clippers. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is top 3 in MVP voting, nearly leading the league in scoring. So far this regular season, OKC has had the upper hand on the Clippers, beating them in LA and Oklahoma. There would be many talking points for the series, such as Russell Westbrook playing a playoff series against the Thunder, and to see if Shai really has what it takes to win meaningful playoff games yet. Chet Holmgren is a vital piece to the series, as if he's knocking down shots shots consistently and blocking shots, the Thunder will be incredibly difficult to beat. For the Clippers, they have the advantage as they possess the experience a title contender requires, as they have a team full of veterans who knows what it takes to win a postseason game. The experience from Kawhi Leonard, especially winning 2 Finals MVPs on different sides, is going to make the Clippers a powerhouse in the postseason. If the Thunder can pull off a victory against the Clippers, this would be a monumental step toward becoming NBA title contenders for the foreseeable future. However, the Clippers have 4 first ballot Hall of Famers and one of the most talented deep rosters in the league. For this reason, I would have to take the Clippers in a 6-game series. The Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets is another rematch we need to see in the postseason. With the addition of Bradley Beal, this Phoenix Suns team is ready to run it back against the champs. The series would feature 2 former teammates going head-to-head as Nikola Jokic and Jusuf Nurkic would battle it out. Nurkic is a much better defender than DeAndre Ayton, giving the Suns a better chance of defending Jokic. With the addition of Beal, Denver now has to decide how they will attempt to cover Booker, Beal, and Durant at the same time. Kevin Durant is quietly having a great season, putting up 28 points per game, while the backcourt tandem of Booker and Beal are combining for 45 points a night. With all this offense and Denver's sometimes lack of defense, the Suns have a much better chance to beat them this postseason. In the series last postseason, the Nuggets beat Phoenix in 6 games, including a blowout Game 6 win in Phoenix. Since then, the Suns have fired head coach Monty Williams and replaced him with the former Lakers champion Frank Vogel. Early in the season, it wasn't smooth sailing for the Suns, but they've really come into their own as of late. With too many shooters that you have to close out to, it makes this team borderline unguardable when the starters are on the floor. I believe that the series probably goes to 7 games, and I definitely could see the clutch gene of Kevin Durant being the difference in the series. However, I'd have to back the Denver Nuggets in the series, as Aaron Gordon has been a great matchup on Durant in the past, and we all know how impossible it is to stop Nikola Jokic. Out of these 6 potential postseason series, which one would be the most entertaining? And did I forget to mention a better series? Let us know in the comments below.